So the writer of this episode is an exciting new name for us.
Okay.
This his name's Tim Minear. He's never written a Buffy episode. This he's an angel only writer. Okay. This is his first episode on the writing staff. It's actually the second one he wrote, but they filmed this one. They like pushed this one up in the order. And
Yeah.
so that one comes later on, like in like 3 or 4 episodes. Um, but Tim Minear is a journeyman TV writer. He got his start in the 80s. Actually, I think he worked on Platoon, the Oliver Stone
Wow.
movie.
What do you do there?
Like he was like an assistant director or something. But he eventually got on writing staffs. That was his deal. He wrote for like the X-Files for a season or two. He wrote for a bunch of shows in the 90s and then found himself on Angel. And I think that he's the best Angel writer.
Wow.
He's the Joss Whedon of Angel.
All right, here he
Um
is. There we go.
yeah, it was like anytime I'd see Tim Minear's name in the opening credits, I'm like, I'm strap in, baby. This is gonna be a good one.
Okay.
He eventually leaves the show after the third season. Um, he to because he co-created Firefly with Joss Whedon.
Didn't you say like season 4 is your favorite season of any show or something?
Yeah, well, but he does come back to write and direct one episode in that season. It's like one of the best episodes.
Oh, okay.
Um, but he is a wonderful writer. He created some of his own shows after Angel and Firefly crapped out, and they were all good, but they were all canceled after one season, to the point that his Twitter handle, or excuse me, his X handle, is at canceled again.
Wow. He nailed that one. He got that
Yeah,
one done.
yeah.
But by the way, guys, I don't know about you, but I still have Twitter.
It's X.
I'm not like on my app on my phone is still Twitter. When I get on it, it's still Twitter. I don't know what's going on.
Everything I see is X.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Yeah. Are you reading some sweet X's?
No, I'm on Twitter.
Okay. Tim Minear though, he now his career is steadied out a little bit. He hooked up with Ryan Murphy. Ryan Murphy was a fan of some of his other work, and so he wrote for American Horror Story for a few years, and then he co-created the 911 shows with Ryan Murphy. So that's what he's doing now. He's the showrunner on both of those 911 shows.
Well, all right.
Yeah. Um, that's my near. The director of this episode is James Contner, who I mean is incredibly prolific at this point.
Yeah.
We just saw him on Buffy directing The Harsh Light of Day. He also directed Lonely Heart on Angel, which was Kate's first appearance, and now he's back here with the episode of Angel, and he's directing next week's episode of Buffy.
Wow.
So we're seeing
Very
a lot
cool.
of this guy. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Let's get into
You're gonna
it,
give me the
Logan.
talking stick again?
Yeah, here it is.
All right. Oh, I dropped it. God damn it. All right, guys. So Kate, like the action scene, right? Kate chases a guy and catches him, and then he rats out little Tony. Is that what happened?
Yeah, little Tony Papazian. I love the last name.
Yeah, they said it too. They said it a lot, but I never got it officially. But yeah,
Yeah.
and so they basically say you got to go after this guy. And Kate, she's like real aggressive with this guy at the beginning of the episode. And they're like, hey, Kate, calm down. You got to calm down. You're going way too hard on him. Right. So they're like set up. So like when she
Yeah.
falls to sensitive Kate, it's a big transformation, which they do a good
Yeah.
job of that.
Right. Okay.
So we go Angel, Cordelia, Doyle. They're fighting
Yeah,
a big
all
tentacle
all of our
monster.
characters.
All of our three characters. They fight a big tentacle guy and they kill it. Angel like has a sword and he like cuts off its
Yeah.
tentacles.
Looks like
And
hentai.
yeah, I was like, oh, Daniel's gonna love this. He probably just got done watching the same type of video. But then there's like a real funny scene at the end where it like the tentacles pick up Doyle and but Cordelia makes a comment like, they're so dumb or something. I don't know. But they play it for laughs. Pretty funny.
Cordelia thinks like Angel's not paying enough attention to them. But
Yeah.
meanwhile, while she's having that soliloquy, Doyle's getting grabbed by some tentacles.
Very good. So then by the way, there's a moment where Angel tells Cordelia, like, hey, your mom, you got to call your mom back or something. So maybe that's laying the foundation. I wanted to bring that up because maybe that'll be in a future episode where Cordelia calls her mom back. So,
They can have brunch with Aura.
oh yeah, Aura. I didn't know. Like maybe she calls her at some point, but I wonder, like, why is she avoiding her mom's phone calls? Does she not? Does her mom know she's a failed actress?
I don't really know what her mom knows. With Cordelia, I feel like after like the dissolution of her family's wealth, like she sees a lot. She's a lot less close with her parents.
Yeah, yeah. But I feel like we've heard about her dad, but never her mom. I feel like this is the first time we've heard of her.
Yeah, I'm not sure we ever meet Cordelia's parents. I don't
Oh,
remember.
I sort of thought we would, honestly. But okay. Who we only met Willow's mom. We never met her dad, and you said that was the only time we ever saw her, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Huh. And we only saw Buffy's dad the one time.
Twice.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, he picked her up in nightmares, and he says mean things about her because it's one of her nightmares.
Yeah.
And then we see him drop her off at Joyce's house in When She Was Bad, and they
Yeah, I
compare
forgot about the
notes.
nightmares
Drummer.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, but then so Kate shows up to Angel and she tells him about little Tony. She asks him for help basically finding this guy.
Oh, you missed, by
And
the way, Cordelia making a Jar Jar Binks reference, which was very, that was like a current pop culture reference at the time.
yeah, she said Jar Jar and I was like, was that Jar Jar Binks or was that another Jar Jar? And I
No,
was
it's
like
Jar Jar Binks.
I was thinking I was like, do I look that up? And I was like, if I look it up, it's only gonna pull up Jar Jar Binks. So I just left it alone, honestly. But okay. But she said like he had a talk show or something. Is that what happened there?
She's like describing what hell would be like. Jar Jar has a
Oh,
talk show. Oh my god, because everyone hated Jar Jar Logan.
right, right. I do know about that. I'm aware of that.
Mm.
But so we find out. So like Cordelia does some research. She finds out that there were some murders and bodies washed up on the beach or something like that. So Angel goes to that location and he finds a bunch of guys hanging out. A little Tony and a bunch of other guys. Little Tony, not so little. It's like one of those ironic names. He's like a fat guy, right?
Yeah, Little Tony, played by John Capodice, who I most fondly remember as Detective Aguado in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. One of
Wow.
Ace Ventura's top nemesis.
Okay, very cool. But only knew one of his partners, one of his pals. We already mentioned him, Bobby Bacala, I think
Bobby
was his name,
Bacala, yeah,
from The
absolutely.
Sopranos. Steve Sharippa, he has a podcast, by the way, where
He
he talks
currently
about The
does
Sopranos.
Talking Sopranos with Michael Imperioli and Bobby Bacala.
Yeah. Did I listen to that?
I heard it's bad.
I feel like there's no way it's good, right? I mean, like they were there, they probably have some anecdotes, but I don't know. Oh, we have no anecdotes. I mean, maybe you do, but I wasn't there for any of this. I don't know. But so yeah, they're there, and I thought that was pretty fun. Like this wasn't like because they did murders on boats, so I did think of the Sopranos when they killed that pussy guy on the boat, and then they have a Sopranos guy here like as part of a crew that like kill people on a boat. I thought that was kind of
Yeah,
fun. But
good
I
point.
don't think he's there for that scene, but so he's not one of those guys. But anyway, they get oh wait, this is when Angel shows up because he's like, hey, they're getting on the boat. I gotta stop it. So he gets on the uniform and he's like, hey guys, I'm Herb Saunders going to
It's not a
Catalina.
uniform. I wouldn't call it a uniform.
Well, it's
It's a
like an
Hawaiian
out.
shirt and a fun hat.
It's like a
A
disguise is what I mean.
costume. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he like distracts him for a second, and then a big fight breaks out. He beats him up, and then Kate and the other cops show up to arrest him or whatever. And they we learned something back at the station about Kate that I don't think I knew. Or maybe we learned this prior. She talks to some guy and she's like, "Hey, dad." And it's
Mm.
like she's a nepo baby cop. That's
uh,
horrible.
I I don't know that. Is that a? Can you call that a nepo baby?
She's like the one woman at the station. She probably only has the job because her dad also works there.
Maybe, but she's hardcore. She's respected.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. But I mean, I feel like we talked about this in what was that Spiral when Chris Rock, because his dad is Samuel L. Jackson and he's a cop, and we were like, he's a nepo baby cop. And same as Kate, it did make me like her a little less. I have to be honest, like actually, which
Well,
sucks.
just it gave her an entryway into the police. I will say that her father seemed to be just a beat cop, and she's a detective. So in
All
her short
right,
time on the force, she's already made it further than he did.
all right, all right. I'm glad you told me that.
Yeah.
Thank you. But so little Tony's there and she's like interrogating him and she's like, "Hey, you fat piece of shit." She starts like roasting the hell out of him, right? And
I
they're like, "Hey,
know.
Kate,
I
take it
noticed
easy."
that too. Like you don't need to bring fucking weight into this.
Well, his name is Little Tony. I feel like it's okay to make fun of his weight a little bit, right?
Okay.
His whole existence is a joke, kind of. So, but then, so Tony, who does he call with his one phone call?
Oh, Wolfram and Hart.
Yeah, that's his law firm. He says, "Hey guys, I'm in trouble. Get me out of it." And so they're basically gonna kill. I do have a question about this. So their plan was that they were going to make everybody sensitive so that they were going to let them out of jail, basically, right? That's
Right.
what they say later. But why do they also want to kill her?
Well, because she's been a nuisance.
Really? They just like want to kill her because of that?
Yeah. Wolfram and Hart's hardcore. They're an evil law firm.
All right, fair enough. I just didn't know why they had to do both things. Like make her sensitive and care and be a good guy and be on your side. You don't also have to
Well,
kill her.
I don't think this was ever meant to be a permanent change. I think the
No,
idea
I guess
was
not.
they were going to cause chaos, sort of like in Halloween, where like everyone turns into their costumes. Like it'll be so chaotic that we could get little Tony out of there and knock off Kate, and no one will be any the wiser.
All right, fine enough. I
Yeah,
guess I'm just not like a mobster. I don't think about killing people that much. It seemed crazy, but I guess that's just what they
I
do.
think about killing people all the time, so don't worry about it. I got your back.
But you probably don't actually think about how you could execute it, right? You're probably like, my life would be easier if this person was dead. But it's not like tomorrow if I like say I'm gonna do
Yeah,
this, but actually do this, I could kill them. Like you don't
I
actually
guess
think like
that's
that,
true, but I'm not an evil lawyer.
right? That's how they think.
So
But
we meet another lawyer at Wolfram and Hart. This is the second one we've met,
yeah,
and
maybe.
this guy's name is Lee Mercer, and he'll come back. So remember this guy.
I thought he was pretty generic, to be honest.
He is.
Okay.
But they sort of slowly fill out the Wolfram and Hart cast. We learned some of these people that are working over there. This one's Lee. We met Lindsay in the first episode.
I go Lindsay
And
over Lee so far.
I agree. I agree. I
Okay.
think the show agrees because he has a bigger part. Um, and Lee also makes a Mark Furman reference in the scene, which I was excited about because that's the racist cop from the O.J. Simpson trial.
Uh, um. All right, but then Angel and Cordelia talk. He's like, I feel like that's not the last we've seen of little Tony or something like that. And Cordelia, I like what they do with Cordelia here. She's got some nice shoes on, and they do a couple shots before she even like brings up the shoes, where it's like full shots of the room where Cordelia is like walking through the room and like
Did
they're
you
like
notice the shoes before they brought them
I,
up?
no, I did not notice the shoes, but I did notice the shot. I thought the shot was weird because it cut from like Angel just like standing there like a normal shot, and then it was like a full room shot of Cordelia walking around. I was like, oh, that's weird. We see like her full outfit. I did think about her full outfit. Well, that was a thought, but I did not notice her shoes. Um, but yeah, and then she's like, "Oh, you don't notice my shoes?" And he's like, "Cordelia, I got news for you. A guy is never gonna notice your shoes." And then Doyle walks in. He's like, "Oh, new shoes. I like them. They're pretty cute." And Doyle says he knows that little Tony. I thought that sounded wrong, but little Tony's up to no good. And so they head off to talk to some. Oh, first we go to sensitivity training, right? Kate has sensitivity training. We meet the guy. I don't think we learned his name here, but his name is Alan.
Yeah, Alan Lloyd. Um, I know the actor. He's one of the recurring teachers on Freaks and Geeks.
Oh, seriously? I never
Yeah.
just seen him before. I didn't think. But I thought it was fine, I guess. Does he die?
Um, either I mean, I don't remember if he dies, but certainly Wolfram and Hart drops him as a client.
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't ever see this guy again.
And he says something interesting to Kate. He says, "Do you know what anger is, Kate? It's just fear." That's what he says to
Yeah.
her.
And fear leads to hate, and that leads to the dark side.
Yeah. And then then he says, "Do you know what hatred is? Hatred is suffering." That's the next line he says to her.
And then the next line he says is, "Have you ever heard the story
Darth
of
Plagueis the Wise.
Darth Plagueis the what? Thank you. I couldn't think of it."
uh, but so Angel and Doyle go to visit this guy. And I thought this was pretty funny. The guy's like just trying to get Doyle to go to the spin class so he can get a discount.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that. I like
it
this
was
guy.
a charming scene. I liked that character too.
Yeah, so they get it. They get some. They hear about little Tony from this guy, so they head off to that or whatever. But then we learned earlier that Kate's dad is retiring from the force, right? He's having a big retirement party. And I want to bring something up because I thought this was crazy. His name is Trevor.
What's wrong with that?
He's like a 70-year-old cop named Trevor. I thought that was weird.
Is Trevor like a very modern name?
I thought so.
I never really thought about it before, but
It
maybe.
made me think about in Seinfeld, Elaine has a boss, Mr. Pitt, and he's like this English fellow, and his name is Justin Pitt. And I always thought that that was weird. This like old man's name was
Justin.
Justin. I like
That
this
is
guy
sort of
named
interesting.
Trevor. I don't
Trevor
know.
Lockley, yeah, Officer
Name
Trevor
should be like
Lockley.
Roger Lockley or something.
Yeah, yeah. I
Trevor?
don't know. Maybe Tim Minear's dad's name is Trevor or something.
Maybe. Uh,
So yeah, and she invites Angel to this
right.
shindig.
Is it because she started the sensitivity training? So she's like, does sensitivity make you like people more?
Well, here's what it was. Uh, Tim Minear's initial idea for the episode was that it was everyone was going to be so sensitive, and like officers can't do their jobs when, um, with sensitivity because they're brutal assholes. And Joss Whedon went to Minear and was like, "What if it was just like everybody's emotions are completely on the surface? If it's more like that."
Yeah, I think that's probably a good layer to that.
Yeah.
Um, so that is what it was. So she invited him because she liked him. That was
Yeah,
what it was.
yeah. She invited him because she wants to be around him. Like she's
Right.
there. Yeah, she's on the surface.
Yeah. So they that's where they go. And something crazy. The dad was like, I'm glad she's got a guy around because I always thought she was gay.
I know. And I thought about her character on Law and Order who was gay.
Oh, wow. Um, it's like a crazy thing to say, but
No, it's an insane thing to say. Her dad is awful. I mean,
yeah,
he's a terrible person. At the end of this episode, like they could easily have a heart to heart. Like we're like, if Trevor looked inward at all in this episode, like he would go up to Kate at the end and say, "You're beautiful and I love you, and I'm so sorry I ever made you feel that way." But
Trevor,
he
there wasn't a little kid in this episode.
fuck off. But he goes up to Kate and I mean we're not there yet, but he tells her like we won't talk about this ever
Yeah,
again.
that
This
didn't
didn't
happen.
happen. Yeah.
Very upsetting. Yeah, he sucked. He was horrible. But so Kate gives a speech and she's all like, "What? Whenever mom died, it was very sad, and all you did was work all the time. You never cared about me, and it sucked." And then like all the cops they argue and they fight, big scene, and they're all like I did like there's like parts where they're like there are like car accidents and they're like my wife I never have sex with my wife ever and my kids hate
Yeah.
me. Some funny stuff like cutaway scenes there I enjoyed.
Yeah, for
Um
sure. I like the one who confesses his love to Kate.
yeah. Well that just made me uncomfortable because I feel like they were all like they all probably did that every day. So it was probably nothing new to her. She's the only woman there. Like I didn't notice until that speech that she gave. Like it's just all men.
Yeah,
Her giving
it's
the
a boys'
speech.
club.
She looked great, by the
Kate's.
way. She did look great giving the speech, I have to say.
Wow. All right.
She had
The
a
by the
nice
way,
dress.
the guy who confesses love to her played Leah Remini's boss in King of Queens. Just for the record.
Okay. You know who I liked was the one at the sensitivity training who like they
Oh, who he talks to, who gets the talking stick first?
is he the guy who also lets them out later?
Yes, I liked that guy too.
I forgot I didn't get his name, but
I
I
think his name
liked
is like
him.
Heath or
Heath,
something.
you're right.
Yeah.
Did he die? Did they kill him?
Well, last we see is like
The
a bunch
criminals
of
beating him up.
criminals beating the shit out of him. So maybe he's dead.
Yeah, yeah, we have to assume, I guess. But yeah, so that is at the retirement thing. Then we go to the apartment. Angel takes Kate back to his apartment, and Cordelia shows up. I like one of the lines she says.
I
She's like,
loved this whole scene.
"Oh, yeah, me too, actually." But she says she comes in. She's like, "It's so weird working for a ventriloquist."
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
Great save,
But
Corey.
but yeah, I enjoyed the whole scene. That and I think Kate's really good here. Really
I
good the whole
agree.
episode.
Kate's really cemented herself as a good character.
Yeah.
I mean, I will even see her dad again on the
Wow.
show. Yeah.
Yeah, I sort of thought that we would. But he tells them like, "Hey, I'm going to go and figure all this stuff out at the police station and you're going to or with them like with this guy doing the sensitivity training and you guys are going to watch her, right?" And so
Yeah.
I wrote here's something I wrote Dutch Angel cuz there's a Dutch angle of Angel when he walks down the hallway.
Pretty
So there we
good.
go. We learned something. Did we learn Angel killed his parents here?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think
that
we
seemed
knew
new.
that already. I think it was implied by Angelus, but
Oh,
cer certainly confirmed here when like who's someone's is it Lloyd that's like trying to make him feel bad about
is that Alan?
yeah he's like trying to do the sensitivity training like what was your relationship with your parents like
Right.
and he says they tasted like chicken.
Yeah, that was crazy. But it works. He makes Angel really sensitive, right? Angel shows up and he's basically like a real nice guy. He's really funny here, I think. I think this it's Angel's really this is probably Angel's best episode, but also I think Kate might be my MVP.
That's fair.
But I
Kate's
don't know.
Kate's great, but I do think Boreanaz is settling in as the lead of a show.
Yes, and he's really funny here when he's like I've threatened him with physical violence, and he like seems so disgusted with himself that he
Yeah.
was like this animal beforehand. And I like this other moment they break in, they like smash some glass, and he's like, "Should we leave a note?" That was so terrible what we just did. Very funny. And
Yeah.
something I didn't like, they beat up little Tony after he comes out and everything, and he says pain bow.
Oh yeah, I did notice that. I laughed at that line.
Why? What does that have to do with anything?
I'm not sure. I just thought it was a fun play on words.
I really didn't like that at all. It made no sense to me. Like it made me think like what did the writer get out of that? Putting that like was he like dared? Like do you think you can get this word into an episode? Like it seemed
No,
like so
I,
random
I
to me.
Tim Minear is eccentric. I feel like there's always moments like that in his episodes where it's like,
Okay.
what brain did that come out of?
All right, fair enough. Uh, so little Tony, he calls Wolfram and Hart at the end of the episode, and he's like, "Hey guys, like I'm still in fucking jail. You guys suck at this." And they're like, "Yeah, we're not gonna help you anymore. Like we came up with a great plan, but then you decided to just like try to kill her in front of everybody, and you got caught. Like you fucked up. That's on you, bro." So I guess little Tony's staying in jail. Wolfram and Hart, they're moving on with their business, it seemed like.
And Wolfram and Hart still showing an interest in Angel at this point. He's starting to move up on their priority list, and we get another shadowy mention of the senior partners.
Excited to find out more about those guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and I like this. We go back to the precinct, and these people, they're not so sensitive anymore. So there's guys like, morning, another guy's like, yeah, right. Which is very funny. I laughed at that. But Angel and Kate, they're like, hey, so what happened? Like when we were so sensitive, like that was crazy. And they're like, I don't really remember, but we'll see you in next episode, I guess. I don't know. But then he sees her basically like she has a chat with her dad, and her dad's like, yeah, remember like what happened? Like whatever that didn't happen. We're just gonna pretend like things are back to normal. I don't business as usual, right?
Yeah. Kate looks devastated.
Yeah. But would she rather like her have said that and him? Well, I guess either way, he's
Yeah,
just ignoring what she says.
I think she was hoping that this insane episode would have like opened up something that's like long dormant in their relationship or something, but it ultimately meant absolutely nothing to her father whatsoever.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so there we go. I'm gonna give it a 3.
Me too.
And honestly, I don't know which episode I liked more this week. This is really tough. I liked them. I think I might like this one more.
Okay.
I just kind of had less. I just enjoyed it more. Was just on for the ride a little more. Didn't have any problems with them writing anybody off the show or anything. Like I didn't have to think about that. I'm really sorry, guys, to complain about that, honestly. But MVP, I'm gonna go Kate. Really enjoyed her this episode. Great at being
Uh
sensitive when she's like
I'm gonna
crying.
echo that.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
Kate
LVP,
or
I went.
Angel? I think Kate is a good Kate
Yeah,
Angel episode.
yeah, 100%. LVP, I went with that lawyer guy, not Lindsay, but
Oh,
Lee.
Lee Mercer, yeah. I'm gonna go with Little Tony. I think he's a little much.
Wow, little Tony. I like little Tony.
I don't know. It's pretty standard gangster shit.
I thought it was fun. They put out a
Tony
casting call. I thought
Papazian.
they did find enough job probably finding
It's
this
not a
guy.
cast. He's a respected actor. He's an Ace Ventura.
Oh, then why are you dissing him?
I'm not. I don't think it's the actor's fault. I just think it's a little by rote.
Okay, I like the name Little Tony.
Okay. So standard though. Like if I told you like off the top of your head without thinking of it, come up with a name for a gangster.
But the,
Little Tony.
all right, but you're right. You're right. Fine enough.
All right. Who's your oh, we did that already. What
Yeah, I went
about
with
the
lawyer. Oh,
ranking?
ranking. I think this is my favorite episode.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, of the
Was
6
not
we've done.
expecting that. All right,
Really?
what's my ranking? What's number one?
Well, I mean, the my other previous one was Lonely Heart.
All right.
Yeah, that, anyway. City of Room with a View, Lonely Heart, In the Dark, I Fall to Pieces. That's your ranking.
Yeah, you could put this ahead of In the Dark.
So you have it fourth. I had it first. But by the way, I'm already like I don't know these episodes as well as Buffy already.
Yeah, I understand.
I don't like feeling that way at all. But and then there's like nothing going on in season. I mean, there is like Wolfram and Hart or whatever, but it's like every episode just like seems so different from the other.
That's
And
an
Kate, I
issue.
guess.
That's an issue with season one. And I will say that after this season, Angel actually becomes way more serialized than Buffy.
It seems like you could do that because like it's the lore of like and having your main character be a vampire is so
Yeah.
interesting.
Eventually, Angel gets way into cliffhangers. So don't worry
Oh,
about it. Yeah.
okay. Um. Oh, well, let's read some stuff from the Patreon, right?
Yeah.
All right. Refreshing to see if anyone got anything in the last hour. No, that never happens. I should probably stop refreshing and wasting time. But anyway, thanks, Angelica. Thanks, Josh, Merlis. I appreciate you guys. Angelica says, you start with her Buffy or Angel question. What would you like?
Buffy.
Buffy. Listen, Sarah has the sexiest hair of the
Sarah.
whole series in season
That
4.
always gets me. The first name shit.
I think Nicholas has good hair.
Nicholas.
She's looking so damn beautiful in the opening. I agree.
I want
Oh,
to say that Sarah Michelle Gellar season 6 of Buffy, I think is her sexiest hairdo. So I
wow.
disagree.
I remember in one of the episodes with Henry, you were like, this is Sarah Michelle Gellar season 2 of Buffy. This is the sexiest person on the planet. I remember you said that once. So you think season 2 and season 4 and season
I'm
6,
just
she's all
going
looking
by
the best.
hair. I'm just going by hair.
Right.
The
Okay.
hair in season 6 does it for me.
Okay. She says, Wild at Heart probably has one of the most devastating character assassinations in the history of the show, with the demise of our beloved Oz. Spelled on an S, by the way. I don't know what that's all about.
Because his last name's Osborne. I'll tell
What?
you,
What's
yeah,
his first name?
Daniel.
Yeah, I knew that. That's crazy. Wow. So his last name's Osborne. They just call him Oz with a Z. Do we call him, do I just write Oz with a Z?
You're
Am I dumb?
supposed to. I mean, like in the scripts of Buffy, if you look at them, it's all OZ. But I assume that's why she's doing that.
Yeah, wow. Honestly, I completely forgot about that. Um, this episode really runs with the notion that if you want to hurt the Buffy audience, you go straight for Willow. I say you go straight for Buffy to for me, but such a brutal watch. She agrees with you, I think.
Mm.
Then she says, Angel, I am attracted to David in the Hawaiian shirt with the too much hat, but I'm the most attracted to Glenn. Who is Glenn? Doyle?
That's Doyle, Glenn Quinn. Yeah.
To Glenn because of his
I
hot
have never
attention to
heard.
detail.
I've never heard anyone refer to Glenn Quinn as Glenn. That is
Probably his
wild.
family. His
Maybe.
name should be Quinn Glenn. I think that would be cooler.
That would be cooler.
But that's a good name though, Glenn Quinn. I like that. This episode is Angel's band candy, just more sad but still enjoyable.
Oh, I
That is
see. Yeah,
interesting.
it like alters everyone's personalities for like a night. Yeah,
Yeah,
I can see that.
I like that. And great job, Angelica. Uh, Josh Merlis, you want to start with Buffy or Angel?
Buffy.
All right, Buffy. He says they nailed the opening. What was the opening? Oh,
The
with
spike
Spike.
thing.
I was
Yeah.
thinking, oh no, not another lame Spike soliloquy. Lame Spike soliloquy. That's not even a thing that exists in the world. Are we supposed to think this is cool? But no, he
No,
gets zapped because it was not cool. I get what you're saying.
I'm with Josh on it.
No, I
It's like
agree. I agree.
the
I
last
agree.
couple times we've seen Spike, we've seen him like stand alone and like deliver a monologue about how he's gonna like take over. And yeah, we're turning that on its head a little bit. Just knock him out immediately, and then we don't see him for the rest of the episode.
No, I literally had the exact same reaction. I just love Spike. He said it's hilarious that he doesn't even show back up in this episode. Love that band. Not a great performance by the werewolf lady, but I liked the story. Willow is so great here.
If you like that band, the band that they're using as her band is a real band called THC.
THC 1138. Josh Merlis says Angel brought the goods. They struck the balance this time and delivered a smart, funny, and engaging delight. Best yet by far. Cordy is the only one
Wow.
lagging behind. I agree, Josh Merlis. I don't know about Cordy. Maybe I kind of agree. She like had like, hey, my shoes are nice, and like they mentioned her mom.
I
But
thought Room with a View was a delightful Cordelia episode. That really pulled her into the show for me.
yeah, that's fair. To be honest, I sort of feel like Doyle's like his whole thing is like I'm a mystery and I like
Yeah.
Cordelia. That's like
Next
we got to either get into the mystery or you
next
got to
week's
not.
a next week's a Doyle episode.
Okay, all right, good. Um, yeah, I feel like I've got yeah. I think you're right. Room with a View, we've had way more Cordelia than we've had Doyle actually.
Mhm.
Um, but thank you guys so much. Honestly, you have no
All right,
idea.
next week on the show. Um I mean, thank you guys. I didn't mean to laugh at that. I just thought it's funny anytime Logan gets sincere.
I'm
Okay.
always
The
sincere.
the next week, Buffy is called The Initiative.
Ooh. Isn't that what happens like at a fraternity or a sorority?
It could be, yeah.
The initiation?
Initiation.
Yeah, it's gotta be one of those.
Okay.
I'll say Who's gonna join? Well, Oz is gone and Xander's not in college, so I guess the girls are gonna join a sorority. One of
Could
them.
be.
Oh, so maybe Willow is gonna get in with her Wicca sorority. Or I guess that was just a group. I don't know.
Well,
But does that mean she would have to move out of Buffy's dorm?
no, it's
Okay.
just a club.
But sorority implies like a house.
Oh, I mean, if it's a sorority, then yes.
Okay. Well, I don't think she would leave Buffy, but it would have to be some initiation with a sorority or something. That's what I'll stick with. But then
Okay,
there's obviously like evil lizards or whatever.
sure, sure. Evil lizards, and Angel next week entitled "The Bachelor Party."
And it's a Doyle episode?
Yep.
Well, Doyle. Oh, we have a bachelor party. He is his best friend comes to town, and I'm gonna guess he has a brother. Did they mention what did they talk about on the rooftop that episode?
I don't know that we know really anything about
Yeah, I don't think we
Doyle's
know
family.
anything. Yeah, I don't think we know
Yeah.
a single thing. I'm gonna guess his brother comes to town and he's got a wedding coming up, and Doyle's got to be the best man. But first, gotta take him on a bachelor party,
That
and that'll be real fun.
will be real fun. All right, so the initiative and the bachelor party next week on Buffy's Angels. You enjoy yourselves out there, and so many of Logan's questions from this week will be answered next week. I'm not even joking about that.
All right.
And in the meantime,